All right, and welcome. So we're going to start sitting in Sukasana. I'm having a couple blocks or any other prop you might want for the pigeon pose. And we're going to start, let's start with our left leg crossed in front. Since I usually say right leg crossed in front first, let's just do the left first or something different. All right. And then here we are, Sukasana, leaning back on the arms a little bit, lengthening that spine, getting lots of space. Inhaling and exhaling, maybe a nice long exhale out the mouth. Letting go of the rest of the day. Just being here now in your body, with your breath, with whatever little swinges and shifts you want, or maybe what you want and need is a little bit of stillness. We'll bring the hands to rest on the knees, pouring down the sides of the neck off the tops of the shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling, arriving a little more deeply. And then let's reach out wide through the fingertips and breathing the arms up. Inhale and exhale, breathing them down. And doing that twice more. Lifting through the whole spine. And then we will breathe them up. And as we cactus the arms, twisting to the right. Holding that a few breaths, feeling like you're trying to flatten on the wall to the side of you there. And then letting the hands come down to deepen into the twist. Left hand on the knee, right hand on the floor. Coming back to the center, we'll go to the other side. Breathing the arms up, cactus twist left, flattening against the two side walls. And bringing the hands down to deepen into the twist. And back to the center. And then let's make our way down to the floor. You're gonna roll slowly down, doing a little core work or just arriving there, whatever works for you. And then we land on the floor, nice deep breath. And having our legs bent, feet on the floor, we'll do the figure four, crossing the right leg over. Right knee doing a little press away as you reach through the triangle, holding on behind the left leg or across the knee. Inhale and exhale. And then setting the left foot down. Let's take that right leg up into a half happy baby. Holding on to the outer foot or maybe onto the shin. With that right arm inside the leg, pulling that right knee down toward the floor near your armpit. And then flexing your left foot, sliding that left leg out to straight. It might end up floating a little off the floor at first. And then finding that balance between trying to pull the right knee to the floor, trying to reach the back of the left leg to the floor. And then setting the right foot down, bend the left leg in again. Deep breath, letting go of anything that needs letting go of. And then we'll cross the left leg over, we'll press away with the knee. And reaching through that triangle, holding on to that right leg. Nice deep round breaths. And then setting that right foot down, half happy baby with that left leg. Arm inside the left leg, holding on to the shin, the ankle, maybe the outer left foot. Pulling that left knee down toward the floor near your armpit. And then flexing the right foot, sliding that right leg out to straight. Maybe it doesn't want to go on the floor right away. And kind of balancing there. Hopefully eventually we want that right leg to subside onto the floor. So this is like the lizard lunge, lying down. Yeah, or keeping that right leg straight as needed. And then we will set that left foot down, bend the right leg up again. And let's bridge pose. You could always do supported bridge pose if you would really rather with your block. Otherwise, we'd be doing the regular bridge pose. Scooping that pelvis up, interlocking the fingers underneath. Give those upper arms a little roll out. Pressing the feet into the floor, lifting and opening the front of the body. Inhale, making more space. Exhale, we lift up into that space. And then rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae and on the floor. And let's bring those legs up once again into happy baby, both at the same time now. Pulling those knees down toward the floor. Notice when you do that, that can make the lower back round up. And maybe putting a little resistance there, reaching long and away through the sitting bones, getting that stretch a little more into the hip joints, though it might feel more like stuck than stretch. Let's start extending the legs out to straight, or maybe just straighter. Unfolding a little, maybe unfolding a little more. Certainly change the position of the arms. Maybe they're coming underneath your legs for a little support. As you inhale and exhale out through the back of the legs. Trying to yawn in the back of the knees. Be patient with your body, easing out with your breath. Your legs maybe don't want to get straight yet. And then we'll finish with this, folding our legs in. Back up to sitting, and then we'll put our right leg in front in our Sukasana. Long ago, we were here with our left leg in front. And come forward and over. Inhale and exhale, breathing into the back of the and then calm up, back up on top of those sitting bones, letting the hands rest on the knees. Inhale and exhale, arriving in this moment. And then let's come up to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And as usual, walking the dog or anything else you want to do there. So we're already fairly warmed up here in our hamstrings and hips and lower back. But of course, things are different when we change our orientation to gravity. And then finishing with whatever you're doing, finding the best downward facing dog you can do at this moment. Nothing moving but the breath. Inhaling up to those sitting bones, exhale, pouring down the backs of the legs. And let's lengthen forward to the plank, long and flat against the ceiling. And setting the knees down on all fours. We'll do a couple cats and cows. And then we'll let the cat and cow go into Asta Namaste, knees, chest, chin in. Another couple of breaths. All right, and then here we go. Big cow back, pulling the hips back. And then a little bend in the elbows, pulling the chest forward, feeling that oppositional pull as we bring the upper chest forward and down, hips up a little bit more, maybe sliding out to the small cobra. Really squeeze the elbows in and alongside. And lengthening down. Let's small cobra up and down twice more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Once again. And then bringing the arms forward to the Sphinx. Pulling back with the elbows and the hands. Reaching back through the legs. Wide across the collarbones. And then we'll lift up higher into a spacious cobra, adjusting where your hands are as desired. Inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. We reach away with the tailbone and sitting bones. There's a little pull forward from that belly button, making lots of space for the lower back in between. And coming down. And then we'll come up in an upward facing dog. So if you bring the hands back by the shoulders, that cobra position, that's probably a good position. And you can do your upward facing dog on your knees or the tops of the feet, or maybe the tucked under toes. Pelvis is suspended, pulling those outer arms back. Like you're rolling the inner, the eye of the elbow there, where your elbow folds, rolling that a little forward. And then big lift up to downward facing dog. Deep breath. Looking between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave back. Halfway up, folding over. Deep breath, relaxing the head and the neck, anything in your face. And coming up to standing, coming up to standing. Big front body yawn. Arms down and around to Namaste in front. Inhale and exhale. And coming over. Big lift up and diving over. Concave back, folding over. We're going to step back with the left leg. And we'll come up in the warrior one. Could be the high lunge, could even be the kneeling lunge, but warrior one will be our default for today. Inhaling up the front of the body, exhale, pouring down the back. Every breath and action in the body. Pelvis does a little bridge pose, sort of action forward. Upper body goes up and over. Don't let the bottom of the rib cage splay out a little, drawing in with the lower ribs. And then bringing those arms coming down. And we're going to the roller derby, keeping the right foot where it is. Adjust the left foot all the way to 90 degrees, walking toward the center of the mat with your right hand on that right inner knee or thigh. Pressing that back. So really press that knee back. This knee? Yeah. The front side. Yeah. That's as far as it's going to go? Yeah, that's okay. That's where it's going. And then shifting there, bend, a little bend in the left knee as we pull back and away, flexing the right foot. So it's kind of like doing that, what we do sometimes kneeling from the kneeling lunge, this sort of diagonal sideways thing. And then reaching through the right toes, straighten both legs. And we're going to open up into the triangle from underneath. So let yourself come up high enough to get things into place, maybe even all the way up to standing. And then here we are in the triangle, making that right foot completely forward. There we go. Tailbone pressing toward the side of the mat there. Upper back pressing toward the other side. Keeping the legs straight, coming up, reaching back with your left arm into the side bend. Lifting all the way up that right side. Up and over. And then back to the triangle. Inhale and exhale, really reaching out. Maybe you've got a little more space now. And then reaching with that left arm over the ear. Resist a moment, pressing away through that left outer hip toward the back of the mat. And then letting the left arm take you back down to the lunge. Let's pick up our right leg into the hover plank, or you could step to downward facing dog. And then we'll go to three-legged dog, swooping the right leg up, we're just lifting it. Squeeze those upper arms toward each other and bending the right knee, dog at the high fire height. And then knee to the right elbow to the pigeon. All right, let's do that cobra action there. Inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. Those who want to add a little more, maybe bending that left knee. Don't get hold of the foot, just do it with the muscles, squeezing the upper back and heel together. And then we'll lengthen everything out. Top of the head to the left foot, coming forward and over, sleeping pigeon. And coming up, we'll retrieve that right leg up to downward facing dog. Deep breath, getting everything centered and organized. And here we are. And then through the vinyasa, any version. Downward facing dog again. And looking between the hands to jump a step forward. Into the concave, back halfway up. And folding over. Deep breath. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. And around, Namaste in front. And let's do all of that around on the left. Big inhale up. And exhale, diving over. Concave back, folding over. And we'll step back with the right leg, coming up in the warrior one or lunge of choice. Inhale and exhale. And then moving that breath through the body. Going a little wider from the front inner thigh to the back. Bridge pose action with the pelvis. Lifting up and over, but trying not to stick the ribs forward. And breathing. Every breath renews your presence. And then calm down and roller derby, turning that right foot all the way to 90 degrees, left hand on the inside of the left leg, and walking a little toward the center of the mat and stretching into that. So make those left toes straight forward. So it's like the base of the warrior two, no, straight forward towards the mirror. So it's like it's almost like if we're in warrior two and we tipped forward to do a stretch there, that's more or less where we are. And then shifting the other way, a little bend in the right knee, flexing the left foot. So we're not trying to put a big bend in that right knee. It just gives way enough to pull back, pulling up the top of the left leg. And then reaching through the left toes, straightening up both legs. And we'll reach up and open with that right arm into the triangle. Coming up as much as you need to get settled in there. Pressing the tailbone a little forward. Try to press the shoulders back. You want the left side of the ribs over the left thigh. Trying the best you can not to have it in front. And then reaching back with the right arm, we come up and keep going, lifting up that left side, up and over. And into the triangle. Nice big long reach out with that space. And then reaching with the right arm over the ear, pulling back through that right outer hip, resisting. And then pulling yourself down to the low lunge, and either stepping to the downward facing dog or picking up the right leg in the hover plank, left leg in the hover plank. That'd be a good trick to get the right leg there. Have to do a mountain climber, God forbid. All right, let's swoop that left leg back up, three-legged dog. Bending the knee dog at the high flyer height. And to the pigeon. Left knee to the left elbow to the left wrist. And inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. Maybe bending that right leg, pulling the upper back and the heel toward each other. So don't project forward. Pull in and back. Feel like the chin pulls a little in and back. I'm actually projecting forward often when I forget to think about it. Yeah. So get really into that forward and we go here, but there's that back once you get the forward. The forward kind of stops right here at the sternum, and then things go back. And then things go down and over into the sleeping pigeon. And come up, and let's come up to downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths, getting everything centered there. And then through the vinyasa, any version. So as you come forward into your up dog, reach through the center of the upper chest, and then the back of the head and the upper back go a little back. Pull the outer shoulders back, downward facing dog. And let's come down, sitting back to child's pose. Breathing there. And sliding forward onto our stomach into the Sphinx. Pulling back with the elbows and hands, getting everything organized. And coming down, and then taking the hands back to the Cobra position, the small Cobra, squeezing the elbows in the back, hands by the shoulders, or maybe a little further back. And then coming up in that small Cobra. And coming down. Next time we come up, let's lift the left leg. Lifting the left leg, lifting the upper chest, and then give that left leg a bend. Oh, what a good way to get a nice cramp. And extend that left leg out, lowering down. Squeeze the elbows in, lifting up, right leg straight. Squeeze the elbows in there. You have to think about everything all at once. Bending that right leg. Like you're dragging yourself a little more forward. Extending the right leg back out, coming down. And then let's bring the hands forward into our Spacious Cobra. Maybe even a little indulgence in there if you want. And then let's come up into upward facing dog. Probably want to bring the hands back. Have the toes tucked under or on the tops of the feet or the knees down. So don't just pull the elbows out. They pull out, but then there's a wrap in and forward at the same time. And let's let the knees touch down. And then we're going to do the bend. Bending that left leg. Squeeze, press the pelvis down. And extend. And then the right. And extend, and then with great relief back to Child's Pose. Maybe a little micro cat and cow there. And let's expand back up to downward facing dog. And through the vinyasa, any version. And breathing 3 deep breaths here in our downward facing dog. Being here 100% in this dog at this moment. And looking between the hands to jump a step forward. Into the concave, back halfway up. Folding over. Coming back up to standing, big front body long. And around to Namaste. Inhale and exhale. And let's come back over. And diving over. Concave back, folding over. Let's step back with our left leg again. And the warrior number 1. Inhale and exhale, breathing yourself into the pose. And then let's do the eagle arms, or else holding the shoulders, right arm under. Breathing between those shoulder blades. And lift up. Coming forward and over. We're not going to have to come back up. So coming along that right thigh, or maybe sinking down and inside. And then releasing the arms and adjusting for your triangle pose. And we'll come right into the triangle pose from underneath here. Coming up, side bend away, picking up that right hip bone, making lots of space right there in that side crease of the hip joint. And then tilting back over. Reaching that left arm forward, resist, pulling down to the lunge. Hover plank or dog. Deep breath. And then right leg goes up to three-legged dog. And dog at the high fire hydrant, strong arms. And knee to the right elbow to the pigeon. And maybe doing the bending of that left leg again. And this time, if you want, getting the hand back for the foot. Maybe it can go in the crook of the elbow. So yeah, long arms help a lot again here. So if you're enjoying your leg there, you can take it with you as you come forward. And if you have the bent leg, reach out through that left knee, just like you would reach out through the left foot. And releasing the left foot if you still have it. And then coming up. And we will retrieve that leg to downward facing dog. Breathing here in downward facing dog. And then let's come down, sitting back in child's pose. Really feeling the easefulness here. Don't space out and exit and miss out on it. It's one of my theories about relaxing and or taking a break. Sometimes we just like go, we exit as it were. And then perhaps we miss out on that wonderful feeling of easefulness. All right, let's expand ourselves back up to downward facing dog through a vinyasa or not, or maybe 2 or 3. And looking between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Holding over. Deep breath. Coming up to standing. Big front body yawn. And around to Namaste in front. And come. Diving over. And we'll concave back. And then we'll step back with the right leg. Coming up in the warrior number 1. Breathing into the pose. And then bringing those arms around, left arm under eagle pose. Breathing between the shoulder blades. And a little lengthen up. And coming forward and over. We don't have to come back up, so go for it on your forward and over. Maybe along the thigh, maybe a little sink down and inside. And releasing the arms. Straightening up that left leg, making the base of your triangle, and opening up into the triangle pose. So really pull that torso back over the left leg. So it's not just the arm. Sometimes we over pull a little with that right arm. We need to take everything with that right arm pressing away. And then reaching back through the right arm, coming up. Big lift up and over. Lots of space in that left hip. And then Hinging over into the triangle again. And reaching the right arm over the ear. Resistance, trying to feel like your right hip reaches back. And pulling down to the lunge, downward facing dog or hover plank. And then three-legged dog with the left leg lifted. Bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrant. And to the pigeon. Inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. And then maybe bending that right leg. And this time, if you want, getting hold of the right foot. Trying to square up to the center again as best you can, or to the front of your mat. And then coming forward, maybe bringing that right leg with you. And letting go of that right foot if you still have it. And then coming up. If you want to go up and downward facing dog and vinyasa, go ahead. Otherwise, we can take the direct route to Shavasana. More or less direct route. Of course, there might be something else you need or want to do along the way. Inhale and exhale, landing on the floor. Sliding those legs out. Letting go of all effort, just sinking into the floor. Inhale, a nice long exhale, slowly drifting down. And then breathing back into your body. Moving the fingers and toes, maybe circling the wrists and ankles. Stretching the arms up overhead. Bending the knees. And then gently making your way up to sitting. Sitting in any comfortable position with a long and spacious spine. More moments sitting quietly inside yourself. Namaste. Thank you for coming. Let's see, there it is. There it was.